Weighted clouds with a high of 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
Sold.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Tuesday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks on a chilly Tuesday. Supposed to be 80 degrees today, though, so it's going to warm up nicely. Let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome in Galen Udall from Life South, brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, Penn Flooring, and JustShip.net. Well, let's cross our fingers and hope that his phone's working. Galen, are you there?
Yeah. Let's see if Verizon decides to mess with me this morning. So
it's about to the point where you're about to invite one of the Verizon people into the octagon, I think.
Yeah, well, the struggle is real and cancel culture exists. I've tried to avoid it, tried to get out of social media, and now the phone companies are after me.
Well, they hear you on the radio and they say this guy's got to be canceled.
That's right. I'm blaming it on you. I want to be very clear about that.
I got broad shoulders. I can take it. I can take every blame the phone company wants to give me. Though, my phone company loves me, and I'll tell you why. I'm set up on the automatic payment and everything. I got the best plan. I got the biggest plan you can get with the unlimited data and everything. Then I go in every 2 years, every 18 months, I go in and lease a brand new phone for an outrageous amount of money. Oh, I'm a cash cow for my company. Well,
I do that, but for 4 different lines, Tom, and they canceled me. So good luck.
Wow, that doesn't lend me any. I thought I was doing good. It's not good. So, of course, I use the company that Alexander Graham Bell started. So I keep it. I keep it on the American Telegraph and Telephone. Keep it from 1876 till now, pal. I'm with it.
No, they've been getting it done. Right now, it's not a bad decision by you.
Now, But by the way, can we just go ahead and say it's all a racket? Anything that is sold by people that people have less respect for them than they do used car salesmen. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, it's, and again, I've made this analogy many times. Getting a phone is worse than getting a car, right? Because now they have so many laws and there are so many people who are concerned about, getting a car. The phone is far and away harder.
Oh, the phone is a timeshare you have to buy.
That's correct.
That's what it is. You can say no to a timeshare. A phone, you have to buy that timeshare. You have to buy a phone. It's a timeshare you have to buy and you can't get out of. And they try to trick you into saying, we don't have contracts anymore. It's month to month. But what they do is they get you in that phone lease for 2 years. So you're still not going anywhere. You're not technically in a 2-year contract, but you got that phone leased for 2 years. And if you don't lease the phone, you got to pay like $1,900 for the thing.
Yeah, you are not wrong there. So it's terrible. You know what the worst is though? The managing the add-ons, right? Whether it's the device protection or
the insurance.
Now it's all the apps, right? Do you want to? There's an entire section on my Verizon bill for managing add-ons, and it's so simple to connect to. And 90% of the time, you don't even know what it is.
Right.
And it's a scam.
Well, here's what
It's an
gets
absolute
me.
scam.
Here's what gets me. I updated my phone 2 days ago. The update came through.
Yeah.
You know, the update came
Sure.
through. So I updated my phone, and I'm watching my phone, and it goes initializing app 147 of 436. And so I go, hold on, I got 436 apps on my phone. So I go count all the icons that I have on my phone, and it's like 61.
Right.
So I'm like, how do I have 400 and something apps? And so I look up, I go on the AT&T website, and I say, you know, blah, this is my question. I get into a chat with somebody, you know, the live chat you can do in the chat box.
Sure.
And I go, I only count 61 apps, you know, icons, and yet it says I have 400. It's initializing 400 and some odd apps. And she goes, oh, well, for every one icon, they usually have 4 or 5 apps that make that icon work. Nobody told me this.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like, why would you know? You know, there's so much trust that you have to have there. It's hard. It's very, very
and we trust right away because it says, click here to say that you agree to the terms and agreement. When was the last time you read a terms and agreement on your phone?
No, I'm with you there, my man. I'm with you there.
We could literally be holding something that we could go to prison for because we agree on the terms. If something goes wrong, the phone company could put us in prison probably, and we wouldn't know.
It could be a bomb.
You have no
if you
idea.
push the wrong combination of buttons, it will explode. You're like,
and you agreed to that in the terms and agreement, so you know.
Sure. It's like, sounds reasonable. Okay. And you'd be in the lawyer's office and be like, well, yeah, did you read it? No. I didn't even read my trial papers before I came here.
Exactly.
I gave it to my lawyer.
All I know is that I owe you $800 for the consultation and $350 an hour. That's all I know. That's all I know.
It's true.
But it's
Very true.
We've come a long way. And remember when it was the phone, when you had to plug the phone into your car cigarette lighter, the bag phone? That was the only way it would power up. And the key, the dial pad was on the back of the phone.
Oh, absolutely.
And the only thing you could use the phone for was to call someone.
Correct.
And it was ridiculous because if you called them and you were like 25 miles outside the city you had the phone in, you had roaming charges. So to make one phone call was like $435.
Yeah, I called my dad from the Philippines one time.
Oh, no.
He lost his mind.
Yeah. I mean, you would be, when I lived in Georgia, to call my mom on the cell phone from Georgia Southern back to Jacksonville, you just didn't do it. It was cheaper to pay the long distance. And remember when we had to pay long distance? Remember that?
Sure.
There are people 30 years and younger listening to this show going, what in the hell are they talking about? Paying for long distance?
Oh, yeah,
But what is long distance?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Remember,
it's unbelievable.
I told my niece the other night, I go, what's the 411? She goes, what do you mean by that? I go, what's the 411 on the situation? She goes, I don't understand. What is 411? And I forgot she's only 29 years old. I go, oh, yeah, you don't know that we used to call 411 on our house phone, and it would give us information where you could literally call 411 and go, I'm looking for so-and-so's phone number, and they would give it to you.
I know, yeah. Time and temperature was my favorite.
Oh, time and temperature was great.
I mean, you could call it just to find, because we would bet on what the temperature was.
Oh, yeah. It was like a numbers game.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's how I learned how to, be a proper bookie.
It was like a numbers game, the time and temperature.
Sure.
But when I literally said, what's the 411? And she goes, what the hell are you talking about? And I forgot she's 29. I go, oh, yeah, you don't remember when the world was so trusting that you could call 411 and ask, I need Galen Unald's phone number, and they would give it to me.
Well, I mean, do you remember how important the Yellow Pages was?
Oh, it was a huge deal. And if you were a Yellow Pages salesman, you made bank.
Oh, yeah. Well, because, you wanted to be at the top.
Oh, yeah. You made bank if you were a Yellow Pages salesman. I remember.
Now, if you get one at your house, you're like, what am I supposed to do with this thing?
I remember when we would wait as a child. It was a great thing. We were 10, 11, 12 years old. The new phone books are here, Mom. The new phone books for this year are here.
Yeah. Our lives were so simple. Any catalog we thought was the coolest thing on the planet. Though.
Well,
like
the J.C. Penney's catalog, if you look close enough, those bras were sheer. They were sheer.
It's true.
I got one of the worst spankings I ever got from my grandmother. I was like 9 years old. I'm in the lingerie section of the J.C. Penney's catalog. Boy, she tore us up, me and my cousin, for, I know what you boys are looking at. What? We're looking at, and back then, looking at bras and panties you were in trouble.
A big deal, man.
Now,
it's a big deal.
Now it's a TV commercial.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I remember when my mom would literally said, I can't believe, I was like probably 9, 10 years old. My dad had the greatest response because my mom's like, I can't believe they put this disgusting type commercial on TV. And it was about Preparation H. So I looked at my dad and go, what's she so mad about? What are hemorrhoids? And my dad said, son, when you have a child, you'll understand. And so I thought hemorrhoids were children. I thought that's what they were for the longest time. And, I've never been a parent, so they still could be. I wouldn't know. Did we lose Galen,
No, I'm here. I'm just listening to the story.
No, I thought Verizon had killed us again. I thought it killed us again.
No, that was good.
But, yeah, my dad just looked at me without missing a beat and said, son, when you have kids, you'll understand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a time when everybody thought TVs were going to kill us.
Oh, yeah, the rays from the TV were going to kill you. Oh, yeah.
And then it became video games.
And then the microwave. Remember, the microwave was going to poison you. Couldn't eat food out of the microwave. It was poison.
The microwave. Oh,
my mom refused to have one in the house for years because she didn't want to die from microwaves.
Well, remember they would which microwave do you have?
Well, first off, our first microwave was the size of a radar range.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
There's planes at this airport smaller than the microwave we had, the first microwave we had now.
No doubt about that. No doubt about
that. And speaking of that, how about that first VHS you got? It had the big buttons. It had the big buttons on it. Oh yeah, no,
the player.
The player. It had the big buttons on it. Looked like the top would rise up on it and everything. There was no remote control or anything for those things.
So we were. This was about 3 years ago, and we were going through old photos that my dad had. And I had a picture of my dad, and on his shoulder he was carrying the VHS camera bag.
Oh yeah, it looked
VHS
like it.
Camera.
It looked like a news reporter.
And and my son said, "Oh, I didn't know your dad did TV as well." I'm like, "What are you talking
about?" That's a
He's
home video camera.
And he goes, "No, that's a VHS camera." He goes, "What?"
Yeah.
How did that work? I'm like, "Son, the camera weighed 72 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
And the bag weighed about 150.
It worked poorly. That's how it worked. Hey, let's go to the phone lines real quick. You're on the phone with Galen and Tom. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
Hey, when I was growing up, my mom fed us carrots, said it was good for our eyesight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we fell for that. Thanks for the call, Hugh. We fell for that. Eat these carrots. It'll help your eyesight.
Oh, there's a lot of that.
Oh, we fell for stuff like that left and right.
Spinach? I love spinach, and it's all Popeye's fault.
Oh, I love spinach. To this day, I eat spinach, and you're right. It's all I am what I am. It's all his fault.
Yeah. I mean.
And he ate canned spinach. Canned spinach is the worst, and that's what Popeye ate.
It's absolutely terrible.
It's the worst.
I mean, you look at some of this and I'm like, did they create Popeye just to sell spinach?
Yeah, maybe. Hey, remember, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was concocted by Montgomery Wards to bring people into the department store. It was not this great Christmas story everybody thinks it was. It was created by an ad salesman at Montgomery Wards. We need to take a break. We'll be right back. More with nostalgia with Tom and Galen after this time out on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Tuesday, a bright, sunny Tuesday morning, going to be a high of 80 degrees today, 79, 80 degrees today. Supposed to be 80 degrees New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, so that's why we live in Florida. Galen, you know, he's here with us, brought to you by Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, Penn Flooring, and Just Shipped. Galen, somebody sent me a meme a couple days ago, and I forwarded it to my niece, who is 29, and she sent me back a text. She goes, "What's that mean?" And it was a meme of, it's an operating room, and there are 3 cassette tapes that are standing up, and the cassette tapes are wrapped like doctors and nurses in operating gear. There's a cassette tape on the operating table with the tape pulled all out of it, and the doctor goes, "Pencil."
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
You know,
that's pretty funny.
And my niece is like, "What's that mean?"
That's pretty funny.
Well, my niece goes, "What's that mean?" That's something that kids, that's something people under the age of, I guess, probably 40 don't know, because CDs, anybody 40 years or younger had CDs. They don't know the trials and tribulations we went through with cassette tapes.
Well, I showed my, my dad got all kinds of crap that I inherited. And one of them
reel to reel?
is a collection, 8-track.
My first car had an 8-track tape player in it. That's the 72 Nova Super Sport. Had an 8-track player in it.
And I asked I said, "Boys, take a look at this. Tell me what this could possibly be." And they're like, "Is it what would you use this for?" I'm like, "Well, look at it. Well, what is this stuff?" You know, and they're looking at the tape. They're like, "What is it, an old video game system?" I'm like, "No, it's an 8-track player." And Caleb, my oldest, goes, "Oh, I've heard of those." It's like, "Oh, God, I'm old."
Yeah. And the 8-track, you couldn't, remember you could skip from track 1 to track 2, but you couldn't rewind. You couldn't go backwards. You had to skip forward, and then you had to listen.
No.
At least with a cassette tape, you could rewind.
Yeah, you have to have some skills to be able to search and get the song you actually wanted to hear through that.
And
that's
how about this lost art? Kids nowadays, girls nowadays are getting cheated. Oh, you know what I mean? 16-year-old girls are being cheated. 17-year-old girls, 15-year-old girls, they're being cheated. Because they don't know the effort that you and I and guys like us put into creating mixtapes for that cutie girl we were dating at the time.
Heck yeah, man.
You don't know the
Heck
effort
yeah.
it took to make a mixtape.
Again, it would cost you $12 for the tape for the Memorex because it had to be Memorex.
Had to be Memorex.
Gold. Remember the
Is it live?
Memorex
Is it
Gold?
live or is it Memorex?
Heck yeah, man. The Memorex Gold, man. You couldn't tell the difference.
And if you
between
put a little
that and
piece of Scotch tape over the back little squares, you could tape over the tape and tape any tape. You can take like a bad ABBA cassette, put tape over it, and retape over that. You could record over it if you knew how to close it off.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that wasn't high quality enough. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. But the Memorex wars, and then you find the cheap ones, and they were called Amorax.
Oh yeah, yeah. You bought those at Pick and Save.
Correct. Yeah,
oh yeah, Pick and Save had the Amorax. Oh yeah.
And you're like, what are we dealing with here? Yeah, it's something, man.
They would squeal sometimes. They were so cheap that you'd record and it'd be squeal on it and everything. And
if you didn't have and remember the tape cleaners?
Oh yeah.
Where you'd put in basically alcohol.
Remember
this? And you're like, no, I just cleaned this.
Remember this? Remember this? Press record. Press record. We've been waiting all day for the song. Press record. Because you were recording straight off the radio. You'd never get the beginning of the song. You'd tell the DJ, shut up talking. The song's already started.
Yeah, he's walking the ramp, and you're just dying. Yeah.
And everybody had a boombox. You carried boomboxes with you.
Well, you had to. Double, D batteries were a commodity.
You were a stud in my high school. You were a stud if you were able to come into the school with a Walkman. Oh, when they first come out, the Sony Walkman, that was next level.
Man. I remember. You remember the Sport one?
Oh yeah,
it was waterproof.
Oh yeah, it was waterproof.
16 pounds.
Yeah, it was waterproof, and it came in like fire engine red or lime green. And they put this Velcro, they put this Velcro strap on it, and then it would pull your arm out of its socket. It'd pull your shoulder out of the road. You'd tear your rotator cuff putting it on your arm.
Oh, absolutely. It compared to, like back then, it was like, wow, look at this.
And then the first Walkman, you remember the first Sony Walkman didn't even play cassettes. It was just an AM/FM radio.
Correct. Absolutely.
That's all it was. AM/FM radio.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, the AM radio. Kids have no idea about the AM radio. Back in the day when WAPE 690 out of Jacksonville was like 50,000 watts, and y'all got it down here in Ocala, no problem.
Oh, we listen to the Ape all the time.
Oh yeah, the Grease Man. Oh, the Grease Man. Y'all got down here easy.
Oh sure. Oh yeah, yeah.
I
knew the Grease Man.
That's a guy who was not politically correct.
Well, he, talking about a guy who, when you're growing up, he's everything, and then you meet him in person.
Yeah.
And you're like,
really?
Man, I am just in awe. He was a rock star for me. When I went to work for WBWL, he worked in the studio across from me, and I heard the voice, and I'm like,
you're like, that's a Grease Man.
And by the way, I need everybody to know I'm 25. I had fought in a war. I had been all over the world. And I'm like, that's the Grease Man.
Yeah.
And the guy I'm with, he has, he's from Kansas City, and he's like, what? And I said, I'll be back.
Yeah.
I got up in the middle of the show, and I just waited for the light to go out so I could introduce myself.
Well, that's like 96 Rock in Atlanta, because when my teenage years were in Atlanta.
Sure.
And 96 Rock in Atlanta, Willard was like the guy. He was the morning guy for 96 Rock in Atlanta at Willard. And so I'm like 23 years old, 22 years old. I'm back home from college for the weekend. And, they said Willard, the Greens Lounge was the nightclub that I frequented when I was in Atlanta before I went to college. And my buddy goes, hey, you want to go to Greens? I was like, it's once you go to college, Greens is kind of, because it was an 18 and up club, and you know they sold alcohol and all, but it was. And I was like, yeah, well, he's like Willard from I-96 Rock will be there. I'm like beating him to the car to get in the car to try to get there.
That's awesome.
Because
the problem with the AM is it only worked at night, though. I mean, you know.
Oh, and it could. We used to be able to get WSB out of Atlanta, 750 AM out of Atlanta. You could sit, if you put your AM radios just the right way in Jacksonville, you could get the Braves games. This was before TBS had them on all the time.
Yeah, it's called Skip. You could get a station out of St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
And we would listen to games. You could listen to the Cardinals and the Cubs and everything on the radio back then. And so we would just sit. Me and my dad would just sit in what he called his radio room and listen to music from all over the country.
We'll be right back after this timeout.
I'm Brad Bernards. American governors have calibrated their approach